everyone! Welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year! This is my first video of 2022 and I'm actually doing a spread to finish up my 2021 bullet journal. So every year I like to do a spread where I kind of memorialize all my themes that I did the year before. And I just think it's such a cute way to look at just this visual history of what my year looked like in my journal. I think I got this idea from Plant-Based Bride. I'm not sure where she got the idea, but I love doing this every year, so I thought I would film this one for you guys. I've already made most of my end of year spreads just because it just tends to be more personal, so I like to have that off camera, and then I'm also going to be doing my flip through for you guys in this video. So I did that all off camera so that I could have blur on for anything that's personal, since obviously my journal is mostly full at this point. I don't always use every spread that I make, especially if I am making my spreads for the month later in the month. Kind of later in the year, I tended to realize that about myself, and I stopped even making like the first weekly. But earlier in the year, I was always making the first weekly because I felt like I should, even though I was probably filming it on like the 10th or something. So some of my spreads are more empty than others. However, I really love how this year went. One of my goals for my journal this year was just to be really experimental, because some of my favorite spreads that I did in 2020 were the themes when I really went kind of off the wall, and I just kind of went for something that was really specific and something really interesting. If you're interested, I could probably do a flip through of my 2020 journal if you guys are into that. It's not quite as curated as these ones that I've obviously been doing on camera, where you can go back and watch me make these spreads for all of these themes that you see here starting in February, since February is the 1 year of me doing YouTube. However, if you're interested, I can go back and show you guys some of my spreads from 2020. I had an American Girl doll theme. I had a Brambly Hedge theme. Those are probably my favorites. And then this year, I think some of my favorite themes were probably, I liked January a lot. I liked the Stardew Valley in March. The Secret Garden in April was really nice. May, Zumbinis was fun, but it was definitely very laborious. I couldn't quite figure out how to do the Zumbini theme without just doing a lot of art. So usually with my themes, I find a way to take a motif or something and turn it into like frames, or sprinkle quotes in and turn it into more of an interactive page versus just having art on the page next to my planner elements. May, I couldn't figure out how to do that, so I literally just have art of the Zumbinis for the most part next to my planner elements, which is cute, but it was very labor intensive, and it probably isn't my favorite. I didn't love June either. I had high hopes for June. That was the garden game, which is this British game where you plant seeds and they have to grow near other stuff that grows well with them, and it just didn't turn out quite right. And I don't know, I just don't love I think part of it is the markers are a little too intense, and it's not quite as cottagecore as I wanted it to be, but yeah, June wasn't my favorite. And then I did love July. July, I went with kind of a soft watercolor mermaids theme, and then I did different mermaids for each weekly. I love how July turned out. And then for August, I did Folklore by Taylor Swift, and I super love that one. That one might be one of my favorites of the year. For September, I did The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady, which is sort of a academia cottagecore vintage garden book, and I do like how that one turned out, but it's probably not in my top 5 of the year. October I love. October was Gothic fairy tales, and I have this super ornate black and white motifs and these illustrations from some of my favorite miniature graphic novels and miniature like graphic fairy tales that I rendered in black and white for the black and white kind of October theme. For November, I had the rosemalling, which is the Norwegian folk art, and that took me so long to make. By the time I made it, you'll see when I do my flip through at the end of this video, by the time I made all my Norwegian folk art pages for November, it was probably like, it was getting close to the end of the month. So like I had to go back in and fill things in once I was done. And I didn't use half of the weeklies, so that I love the idea of it, and I like the cover page for November, but I don't know if I love the whole month. And then December, I was really going through it. December was not a good month for me, but I always do a Buja video, so I kind of slap something together and it exists. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed watching my videos this year. If you have any ideas for videos you'd like to see from me in 2022, leave those in the comments because I'm starting to make my plans for the year. I've got some exciting stuff that I want to do this year, and I can't wait to get into another year of journaling. I can't believe it'll be 1 year of journaling in February on YouTube. Which is just insane to me because this was a huge goal that I had for 2021. I knew I wanted to start a bullet journal YouTube channel, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I'm so glad I did, and I'm so glad I found this community. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if there's any videos you want to see from me in future, in particular with my other journals, because I'm going to be doing my setup videos for 2022 shortly. So if there's anything you're curious about or you have questions about for, say, my reading journal or my fashion journal, let me know, and I can hopefully try and address those in my next videos. This is my flip through of all of my 2021 spreads. So I actually started the year in an Archer and Olive journal. I was halfway through it when I started the year. My word of the year was move. We have my pixel tracker, my pixel of the year. My goals are blurred out, of course. Books read. I have shows and movies, which I didn't super keep up with this spread, especially once I started my film journal. A lot of these yearly spreads, the difficulty is when you start kind of halfway through a journal at the beginning of the year. I switched to a new journal in May, so some of the spreads I kept up with, like the pixel of the year, I just kept my old journal nearby to update that. However, some of them I just kind of, it wasn't worth the hassle of digging out the journal to update it, so they just kind of fell by the wayside. So that's definitely something that I'm going to be considering as I'm setting up my 2022 spreads. I'm using a Mellow Days journal for my 2022 main bullet journal, and it's probably going to last me half the year. It is shorter than a notebook therapy journal, which is the one that I used for most of 2022 from May on. So it is shorter, so I'm guessing it's probably going to last me 5 months max. So I'll have to think about what spreads that I want to set up in this journal in particular for the year, given that I know it's not going to last me a year. So maybe I'll try doing like 6 month long quote unquote yearly spreads. Now we're in my February setup, and if you see any spreads that you're really interested in and it's all blurred out, I'm sorry for the blur, but it's just to protect my privacy. And you can always go back and watch my video where I set up that spread, and nothing is blurred out because I don't put any of my information in it until after I've filmed the video. So February was a fun month. That was my first month on YouTube, and I was doing this vintage Valentine purple theme with all these different shades of purple, and I had the black papers and all these Valentine quotes. Yeah, it was just a really fun month. And then this is March. So March was a Stardew Valley theme, and it was just kind of reflecting how I was feeling at the time. I always try and go with like what feels right, and I was just feeling very escapist. It was March 2021. It had been a year since the pandemic started, and I really wanted something to take me kind of out of the pandemic, so to speak. I do like how most of this turned out. Again, I think the markers are too heavy. I think it has the same issue that my June spreads have, where it's just too strong. So one of the things I'm looking forward to in my 2022 journal is it is a watercolor paper journal. And so hopefully that lets me use paint way more just in general throughout the journal. Because I think watercolor can be, I don't know, I feel like I just have more control over the heaviness of the color. So that'll be really nice. And then April, I had the Secret Garden theme. I do love this Secret Garden theme. I especially love the stickers I used. They're from Opal and Fern. You should definitely check her out on Etsy. I love these stickers so much. I actually want to start making stickers. I have a goal for 2022 of like making and selling some stickers on Etsy or something. And Opal and Fern is definitely a huge inspiration for me. So that is my first journal. And then my second journal is a notebook therapy journal, which is longer actually. It is, I want to say it's 180 pages or something like that. So this one was from May all the way through December, and then it lasted me enough that I could also do my end of year pages, which was really nice. I had to kind of sprinkle the end of year pages in the middle of the old journal for my 2022 end of year pages. And it's just more convenient to have it be at the end of a journal, if you know what I mean. So for May, like I mentioned, I had a Zumbinis theme. I love how the Zumbinis theme looks. I think it looks really cool. It just took me forever to make, and for the most part, I feel like it's not super well integrated into the bullet journal itself. It's not a very cohesive theme. It's just kind of stills and pictures and screenshots that I took from Zumbinis, and I just recreated them. So, I mean, it's cute, but it's just not, I don't think it's my best work as like a journal theme. I do like the sketch of the day spreads that I did in the May theme. I also did those for October, and I always think those end up being some of my favorite pages to revisit. So that's something that I definitely want to try and do more in my 2022 journal. Just making sure to do more visual sketch stuff like that, where I'm capturing the day in a sketch. I don't know, I just feel like it's such, maybe it's because I'm a really visual person, but getting to see a little snippet of my life through my own eyes is really cool to me. I don't know. Let me know if you guys do sketch of the day sort of spreads, because I'm definitely looking for more ideas and inspiration on how to incorporate those for this year. So here we have my July theme, which is one of my favorites. I just love the mermaids. I'm not very good at painting. I'm not very good at watercolor yet. So I'm looking forward to improving this year. But I really like mermaids. Mermaids are just one of my favorite kind of things. I've just always been interested in mermaids. And so I just had so much fun finding the idea was different mermaids from different kind of biomes. So you have like a deep sea mermaid, a kelp forest mermaid. There was like a traditional kind of normal mermaid, and then there was like a giant octopus mermaid. And then this is my folklore theme. So Taylor Swift is like my all-time favorite artist, and Folklore is probably my favorite album. So I had so much fun doing this theme. I incorporated lyrics. For my daily tracker, I have August Slipped Away. I have lyrics on each page. If you want to see, so many of these kind of got blurred out because of my own privacy, but I highly recommend going back and watching my August setup because I'm really obsessed with my own spreads here. I think it looks so cool. And I also incorporated a lot of collage elements, which I think worked out really well, and I really like how those looked here. Collage elements definitely make your journal a lot thicker, so if you don't want to end up with a really thick, chunky journal by the end of the year, you don't want to paste as much stuff in. Me personally, I don't mind as much, and I really like how collage stuff looks. I love the layered look. It feels very lived in, very scrapbooky, like you've just been collecting these bits throughout your life, which is like accurate in my experience. So yeah, and then this is my September theme. I think this is so pretty as well. These are using my Mellow Days stickers. I love their stickers. My October theme, I just love the gothic motifs. For a lot of those scrolly looking motifs, I have this book of Art Nouveau stencil borders that they used in making architecture and in design in the early 20th century. So I use those as kind of inspiration for some of the scrolly October borders. And then this is my November rose malling theme. I love this cover page. I think this cover page is so beautiful. It took me forever to make, but it's just gorgeous. And then this page was the Holling style. That wasn't bad either. I really enjoyed doing kind of like a tour through these different styles of rose malling. I tried to do a different style for each page. If you want to watch me paint these, I definitely recommend go watching the video. It's a lot more fun than kind of the quick tour. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing a tour through these different styles, but I think I would probably do a more unified color palette the next time I do it. But I definitely want to try and do that again. I had a lot of fun with that. And then this is my December theme, which was totally not my best work, but I was really going through it in December. And sometimes you just got to get something on the page. Everybody has those months. And I took some inspiration from Journal Away for my December theme. And then I always like to gather a bit of every wrapping paper that we use at Christmas because I just like to make these journal collages. I've got my Goodbye 2021 page, which is blurred out. I write a little details about the year, things I'm gonna miss, film and TV of the year, my top songs, my top books, and then the themes, which you saw me make. I actually filmed the flip through first, so I had to kind of edit those together. And then I have a picture from each month of 2021, and then I turned 25 actually at the end of the year. So I wrote down 25 things that I've done that I'm proud of by the age of 25, and I put those in the envelope. I think I hadn't put them in yet, and I just was realizing that on screen. So that was one of my year-end spreads. And then I also have resolutions that I had for 2021 that I made, and then my resolutions for 2022 kind of side by side. So that is my flip through of my journaling spreads for 2021. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you found some inspiration, hopefully. Let me know what you'd like to see from me in future, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.